with all this money that DOGE finds and cuts, they should give little remittance
The
checks.
DOGE dividend.
DOGE dividend. And Elon Musk was like, let's talk to
Yes,
bring
but
it to the president.
hold
It'd be
on.
like in Alaska what they do with the oil.
I think so far the DOGE dividend is going to be like $3.
You know what? I'll take that $3.
No, I'll wait 2 years. I'll wait 2 years
Right,
till they
well-
get through the IRS. They get through
Right.
like all these
Pentagon?
different agencies.
Hey, no, by the end of the year it could
Oh, yeah.
be $80 to $100.
Hey, that's fine with me.
I know that's hot. I
Yeah.
mean, that's gonna
But
get your family out
consistently.
for dinner for one day. You know what I mean?
Hey, not in LA. You put yourself out for dinner.
Yeah.
In and out, right?
In or out.
Just in
on
and out.
average.
Yeah.
But think about this. Imagine if they save. What are they gonna have to? They're gonna have to muster up $1 trillion to get everybody $100, or not even $100.
You know what? That's all
That's
right.
still probably gonna
That's
be.
That's still good.
You know what?
But then also with the tariffs, you're adding that on top of that too. So you got the tariffs, you got all the fraud, as much as the fraud as possible. And if they start to open up, I mean, I think there's something coming with the IRS and taxes on people. So when you see that coming, places like Florida's going to take away, a state tax, and then the government wants to ultimately reduce your tax. I think Trump wants to just get rid of it altogether.
I would love to see it, but this is all stuff that you
so I was-
Congress for.
I was way off. It's actually $33 billion saved to give each American $100.
Yeah,
So if
we
they
hit the
could,
trillions.
I'm right. If they can muster up $300 billion in savings, every American gets $1,000.
Let's
That's
rock.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And you know what?
That
It's
real?
not
That's
just
crazy.
that. It's
Yeah.
not just the $1,000, and you have jobs, and
Yeah.
your schools maybe don't
Yeah.
suck anymore and indoctrinate your kids.
Well, I mean,
and you get a nice car,
But
Like,
seeing
and
them-
you get a car.
Seeing them squeeze us as they have, pretty
Isn't
much
it
since the
maddening?
early 1900s when they decided to enact taxes and move away from the tariff system. Look at these cities. And I grew up in Chicago, so in Evanston actually. I'm a North Sider, so
Oh, yeah.
I know you're a South Sider, but I am a Sox fan. You look what's going on with these cities, and it's like they're so broken down. And there's Skid Row. I used to do feeding, give food giveaways down over in Skid Row. How does it look like? My family's from Liberia. How does it look like Liberia and Skid Row, where people are living on the street like that, and we have this much money in the country, and the person who runs the homeless agency is making somewhere around $500,000 to $600,000 a year?
And most of their money
What?
goes to administrative costs.
Exactly.
If you look at all of
Just
these
like the
charities
schools.
and the NGOs, it all goes to administrative costs. Well, that's why colleges got so expensive too.
Yes.
They just kept building more and more administrative buildings and having more and more people come in who sit around for 3 hours and then go to lunch and then try and figure out when they're going home. And
And that with college was backed by the government, so they could raise it all the time without worrying about actually having to hit any real numbers. So they were trapping people in indentured servitude with all these college loans that were go ahead and backed by your government, which then would just squeeze us down even more and more. The coward pivot strategy to destroy the American economy, and that's what we've been fighting against. Is this new communist action that the Civil Rights Act had ushered in?
Yeah.
We're now hopefully on the other side of starting to break that up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful that we are on the other side, that there's because, I mean, so I've been complaining about communism for 15, it feels like for 15 years, right? And for the most part, for a good portion of it, people were like, oh, that's not a problem anymore. That isn't a thing anymore. And it's like, it's 2011. And I'm like, no, if you go online and you look at the people that are the things that people on, in the weird spaces on the internet talking about, they're full of commies. Now, granted, there were significantly fewer of them back then, but communism is an ideology that's really attractive to people that don't know anything about history.
I would say then that takes us to Hollywood. And
I mean,
so
partially, yeah.
In the late 60s or in the late 50s, communism actually interjected itself into the pro-black movement, right? So they started becoming more alive in there. So that's how you see the black community moves the way it does, because they were the first group of Americans to actually embrace communism without knowing it was communism, because they were like, we're being, discriminated against.
Yeah.
Now the Democratic Party after 65 adopted communism. They've been communists this entire time.
Yes.
They haven't changed. And then who's the mouthpiece for the Democratic Party? Hollywood. Hollywood, how many World War II movies have we seen from Hollywood talking about fascism and Nazis?
Yeah.
Then let's ask you, how many movies have we seen them talk about communism and Mao?
Not a lot, no.
Exactly. That's the point. So people have no idea what communism is because the mouthpiece has been telling you it's the guy with the little mustache
and
that's
that,
bad. You know?
falls into the strategy of like people like Saul Alinsky and even further back, the communists in the 50s and stuff. They would say, look, you should go and accuse your opponents of being fascist. Accuse them of being Nazis. Accuse them of this because people are so revolted by those ideas and by that kind of ideology.
Especially when they're showing us over and over, like, man, look what they did to Jews and look what they did to Europe, right? And you have, when you said 2011, or was it many of them? No, my argument is the Democratic Party were. And so was Hollywood.
They weren't so openly, and you didn't
Before
see people flying the communist
they weren't
flag.
flying it then.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.